Hey guys, what is up? We're back with another week of Katekyo Hitman REBORN, and we are at chapter 141. And is it a doozy? Because the way this chapter opened up, all I'm gonna say is, if you're new to the series, and mind you, the series ended this arc, just have to repeat again. But this guy that showed up in this chapter, because there's a new character, and his name was already mentioned at least 2 to 3 times already recently. He should really be up there with some of the coolest villains or antagonists in shonen manga. Okay, so from chapter 140, the last one that I did, now they met 10-year Yamamoto, and they finally found Reborn. Now Reborn is in a costume that's enabling him to breathe properly, because they explain within chapter 141 that those who are archibeleno, like him and Lao March, there is a poison that's circulating the air that affects the archibeleno, and too much of that radiation or poison that's in the air will eventually sentence them to death. So therefore they have to be in certain places that allows them to breathe easily. Okay, and with Lao March, that's why when she came into the base in chapter 140, she immediately passed out due to the different air types. She was being affected outside. Of course, she most likely, based on the garb that she was wearing, it was protecting her in some form of fashion, but not enough to evade the rays of the air outside. And the reason why this is affecting them is due to this one man. He's the reason for all the troubles that Suna is going to face, along with everyone that he cares about, in 10 years or 9 years and 10 months, right? So the beginning of chapter 141 starts off where we're in Italy. Now, the last time we ever saw Italy in the series, if you watch the anime, then it showed the very first episode that Reborn was in Italy till he got the notice to go to Japan to train Suna. That was like an anime only moment. But if you ask in technicality, the first time we ever saw some form of Italy was in the Kyokyu arc, dealing with Mukuro, and then again in the Varia arc due to the Varia. So now we're in Italy, and we're at the enemy's base, the Milifor base, and we see this new employee who calls for the leader of the Milifor, which is Byakuran. He is reporting to him about all of the things that's happening so far, how they're trying to deal with the Capelon, aka Suna's big brother, Reborn's pupil, the first pupil before he trained Suna. They were trying to go after the remember in chapter 140, both Yamamoto and 10-year older Yamamoto and Reborn were saying that the Milifor is going not only towards the Vongola, but all of acquaintances as well. So that includes the CEDEF, CEDEF, the Varia, the archibeleno if they're associated with the Vongola, and even family and friends, and the Capelon. So anybody in association with the Vongola, all of them are being attacked for reasons that have yet to be explained, but they eventually will within this arc. So they tried to go after the Capelon, but they've proven that they're a little too tough, so their tactics are not really working. And that's due to Dino Dino is a capable boss despite him being clumsy. And the last time I know you guys saw him was in the Varya arc, where he was there during the last, he was there training Hibari, but he was also there during the last battle, aka Suna versus Zanzis. So this is his first time being mentioned anything regarding his family since that arc. They're proving to be a problem, thank God. The next one is, then we have where they mentioned again, name drop, Shoichi Aide, who's deployed to Japan to deal with whoever is in Japan, aka anybody that's Mongola or the associates, acquaintances. So he's there doing that. Then you finally see full face of how Byakugan looks. To anybody that's new, whether you're watching the anime or the manga, of course you can probably already get the gist that like, oh, he's the bad guy. I mean, overall the mafia is bad, but like towards our crew, the Vongola 10 generation, you know, they're good kids. You know, so of course he's automatically gonna look like the bad guy, but like, how should I explain without spoiling? But Byakugan, he's a pleasant villain. I tell you, he's pleasant. Like, this dude seems really chill, really laid back, like nothing phases him. He even seems playful, but he is sinister in what he's trying to accomplish, especially if it means wiping out a set of people for personal gains. Okay, there's other stuff about him, but you won't know that till you reach further into the manga or the anime if you're currently watching that right now. But do keep an eye on him, because there's a lot about him that's going to be explained, and when I get to those chapters eventually, I can't wait to explain like the things that he was doing and why he was doing it and the purpose for it, and to clear up a little bit of things, because I know there was some stuff of what people talked about the series, particularly with Byakugan over the years, that I do want to clear up. So eventually I will get to that point, but nonetheless, he's kind of happy or content hearing that Shoichi is heading to Japan to deal with the situation. So now we get back to where we're in the base, and they are all, oh, before we get back into the base, he did ask that the new employee is to send Shoichi anemone flowers, and a bunch of them. Now, if anybody knows the language for anemone, what they mean, because you know all types of flowers do have different meanings, do drop it in the comments below, because he particularly said send these flowers. Mind you, the chapter began showing a set of flowers in the office as well, so keep that in mind, but nonetheless, we get back to the base. And now it's nighttime. It's not now, it's nighttime, but it's been nighttime since they reached the base. And so Suna and Gokudera and the others are trying to rest. It has been quite a restless day so far since he and Gokudera traveled to the future. And we give a little flashback onto their conversation in, like, I guess the kitchen part of the base, where they're talking about again, they need to, 140 ended with Reborn saying that Suna needs to gather all 6 guardians of the future to deal with the Millefor. The faster he can get them, the faster he can deal with the Millefor and then find a way to get back home. Because even with all their acquaintances and other associates, if they're all long and gone and there's no one by their side, it's the only stronghold that is capable of dealing with the Millefor would be the 6 guardians, the people that Suna, or technically Reborn indirectly, associates Suna with, the strongest set of his inner circle. And also kind of, I don't know why, it just hit me just now too, Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is, you know, the middle, and then she has her guardians, her soldiers around her, her 5 or 6 personal, that protects her. But she's the strongest. How did I not realize that? I know it's off topic, but I will have a tendency to do that. But I just now realized that. After all these years I've been reading Reborn, whoa, oh, because she's the moon, and if you know in zodiacs and horoscopes and all that stuff, like emotional, and soon as the sky, he encompasses all. Color me shocked. I know you guys don't see my ring kind of broke. I'm gonna have to fix it after this video. So there's no kissing the ring, but that's why you don't see me wearing the ring right now. But anyway, back to the point. So yeah, during this little mini flashback, showing that they have to go gather the guardians for this sake, so all 7 of them can face off against them. And here Suna is justifiably very visibly irritated and scared, and somewhat screaming at Reborn, saying that, like, if we know there is a Vongola manhunt, what does that mean for, like, my mom, Kyoko, Haru, and others? Are they not going to be targeted? Which Reborn affirms. He does say that, like, they've been trying to search for people that Suna knows. So in regards to his mom, his dad took her to Italy, but they haven't heard anything back from them in like 2 days. They did try to search for other guardians, but they don't know where they're at. And this is where it leads to Reborn mentioning that, like, there is one person, the first person you're supposed to go search for in terms of the guardians, is technically the strongest guardian, which is Hibari. And they've been trying to search for him. Even Yamamoto was trying to search for him. He couldn't find him. And the only hint that they have of him, since he's gone missing for several days or whatnot, is a picture of that little bird that we saw all the way back in the Kyoko arc. That was one of the people, henchmen, that was working with Mukuro. The bird ended up liking Hibari, and he renamed the bird Hybird, and he is known for let's just say singing a certain tune. You'll best hear it in the anime if you are watching the anime version, but I will say this, like, you already saw it in the manga, you saw it in the anime, but Hibari, he doesn't try to hurt anything in regards to, like, animals, small animals, and children. He's actually very soft towards them, but everybody else can get it. He don't like other people, but children, small children, and small animals, he doesn't mind them. He actually doesn't. He has somewhat of a soft spot for them. So he basically took on Hybird as his own pet. And that's the only picture that they have in regards of, like, where Hibari is. He's missing. And we all know Hibari does not like being around crowds. So it's not helping their situation at this current moment. Nonetheless, Suna and Gokudera and Yamamoto now have to find a way to go outside and then go track down Hibari, recruit him back, so they can start moving forward to not only get him but the other guardians, and then move on forward with the plan. Unfortunately, due to the effects of outside, and not only that, Yamamoto did mention that, like, over the past 10 years, or technically 9 years and 10 months, I reiterate that, friends, family, acquaintances of the Vongola have been defeated, aka they have died. They died to the Milfour, who's been hunting them, and it's not like it's just recent. This thing has been ongoing. Again, mentioning Battle 140, when they decided to send 2 representatives, and then the Milfour was the first one to attack, and it has been doing this for quite a while. So again, this does scare Suna, because it's just like, he doesn't know where Kyoko and Haru is. His mom is with his dad in Italy, but again, he's not too sure that either of them is safe. He's more worried about his mom than his dad, given the fact that they really don't have much of a relationship. But nonetheless, Suna is justifiably scared, because the people he cares about, and this is why, when you understand Suna's character and not just saying play it off as he's being a whiny baby, crying baby, just being annoying, think about it like this. And I think I already said it a few times before, but I'll say it again. No sane person wants to deal with anyone who is legally legally, in a sense, you can go to prison based on their activities. What sane person wants to work with the mafia, let alone be in charge of a mafia organization group? Because what happens is, if there comes across another group that has a problem with yours, it's not only you they're targeting everyone around you. And this is what Suna was trying to evade for the longest time. Because even if he didn't know the deep intricacies of, mafia or the underbelly of society, he knew that they're dangerous. And he wanted no part. But unfortunately, he's forced into this lifestyle, and he has no choice but to, as much as he's trying to avert from it, so long as he has people he has to care about, he is going to be put into positions where he's going to be forced his hand to protect them, just so nothing bad and his worst case scenario is actually happening. Something he could not control, all because another group had a problem with his group. They're going for their own agenda, and now everybody that he cares for and eventually does care for over the years are being targeted and taken out. So it's understandable when he says he does not want to be the boss. I wouldn't want to be the boss of any type group like that myself. I don't care how powerful I am. I wouldn't want to. I got to deal with this type of heartache. No, sir. So, we do have where Reborn says he can't follow Suna due to the air and how it's poisonous to him and his kind, because it will lead to their death again. And we do have now where it now goes back to where Suna is trying to rest, go to sleep, and he starts to cry. He starts to cry because he's praying to God, Buddha, whatever, in hopes that his loved ones are safe and sound. Gokudera is in the same room trying to sleep, but he hears it, and he feels bad because it's just like, it's not fair to Suna and dealing with all of this. Now we do have it where Yamamoto, Reborn, and Lao March are talking with each other in regards of this plan and what's going to happen. They do say that Lao March is planning to go back outside to go and search for Byakuran herself, despite the fact that she has, from the context of it, she has no chance of going against him. Not only that, by going outside, she is endangering herself, but she does mention that since her body has been subjected to the rays of outdoors, that poisonous rays, poisonous gas that's outside that affects people like her and Reborn, she technically doesn't have a lot of time left to live. She's actually on the brink of dying, but she's pushing her body. But not only that, it's not only to go after Byakuran, but it's stated back in the last chapter, the Archibelenos were killed. And right now, she is trying to look for the person who killed Colonello. Mind you, it has been shown in the past and mentioned again within this in these recent chapters that she has a very close relationship with Colonel, because technically she was never supposed to be one. That was supposed to be Colonel, hence why she was halfway cursed. She wasn't fully cursed, hence why you can see her in her adult form, but nonetheless, she also worked with Colonello. So they have a very close relationship, and to know that one of the Milford people took his life, she is on a path of vengeance. So while she leaves and Suna and Gokudera eventually wake up because they couldn't really sleep, they did overhear that. Now that this is where they go talking to they go talking to Reborn and Yamamoto, discussing that, like, now to enact the plan, you guys are going to go and find Hibari. So go on, and this is where Reborn cannot follow them. And Suna is wondering, like, in his head, if Reborn is not there, he doesn't think he can actually be committed to the cause. And this arc in particular will show where Suna has to kind of think of like you you learning to ride a bike, and Reborn is the training wheel. So from daily life arc all the way up to the Varia arc, Reborn has been Suna's crutch or his training wheels all up until this point. So now to come to a point where they're in a dire situation to try to find the quickest way possible to get back to their time and save everyone that they currently care about. And the person he's been trying to search for the longest is not going to be on this journey physically wise to help and guide him in the midst of battle, does leave Suna feeling worried. And it's understandable because he has been relying on Reborn to always be there, whether it's to give him a kick in the back for motivation or to be that beacon of light for him. So this is also another scary point for Suna because he's going to be going out there without Reborn's presence, even though he was searching very long and hard for him until he eventually found him 10 years later. So we do have it now where Gokudera, Yamamoto, and Suna are outside going to look for Hibari. It is mentioned that amongst the people who did die due to the Milfour, Yamamoto has lost his father in the future. So, you know how close he and his dad is based on earlier chapters and earlier episodes. So amongst people that future Suna was associated with, also Yamamoto. So it's not only people Suna is associated with, but his guardians' families are also in danger. Bianchi and Futa are off trying to research and find other people as well. So they do have other people. Mind you, we all are also dealing with 10-year-older Ipin and Lambo. So they are on their way to trying to find Kyoko and Haru and protecting them. So there is some reassurance. So going back to the point with Gokudera, Yamamoto, and Suna, while they're on their way looking for Hibari, they're like at a deserted factory location. And this is where they actually end up deucing 10-year future Ipin and Lambo, but they're dealing with somebody who ends up throwing some type of explosive towards them before they can reach them. And they were looking because they found out by the panel, it was Ipin that was shouting for either Kyoko or Haru before she got blasted. And then the chapter ends where all three, again, Gokudera, Yamamoto, and Suna, looks up into the sky, and then they see these two dudes in uniform that looks very similar to the one that Byakuran is wearing, but in black. And they're flying in the air with dying will flames. And this is what they mean by the fighting mechanics of the future is different than their past. Mind you, older Suna destroyed the rings. He destroyed the Vongola rings because the same situation that they were dealing with the Varia was about to repeat itself all over again 10 years later. So it's not a guarantee that it was going to be the Varia who's trying to repeat the past, but there were those who challenged Suna in the future, and he realized that the rings were a problem, and hence why Reborn is saying that, or it was Yamamoto that's saying that, the edge that we have, that you guys have over us, is that you guys still have your rings. So that will aid us, even though 10 years Suna believed that, we don't need the rings. Currently, their fighting style relies on rings to open up those mysterious boxes and obviously deal with the Milfour, who looks like they're also using rings to fight in battle. So, yeah, that's how the chapter ends. To another set of new characters, but this time enemies of the Milfour, who is attacking Suna's friends, and now he has to go and fight them to protect all of them. Okay, so this does lead to Suna having to protect a lot of people. I mean, he was doing that already, but in a situation where he doesn't know whether he's going to go back home or not, yeah, this entire situation is completely different, knowing that it's not only protecting who is currently still alive, but knowing that people he may have knew. Yeah, that's it. We don't even know if they're alive or not because we haven't heard news. And there are some that did die. So yeah, that's a lot to place on a 14-year-old's shoulder who was just going to school, barely passing, couldn't get the girl he likes to really notice him, and is planned to be the next head of a dangerous organization. That's Suna's life. Yeah. But nonetheless, if you guys already read chapter 141 of Katekyo Hitman REBORN, do tell me in the comments on how you felt about this chapter. If it is your first time reading or watching this series, do tell me how you felt about the anime version of it that adapted from the manga version. If you are someone who's already read or watched the series, of course, no spoilers further than that, but do tell me if you did reread and what you noticed in this chapter that you didn't notice the very first time. And again, it's speculation. And I don't say these things lightly because I don't want people to go out of their way to say, oh, Kimmy said this. I always come with facts on this channel. But in the past week, Katekyo Hitman REBORN has been issued, and it was like 4 or 5 days ago, has been issued with a new domain website. Of course, it's not up and running, but there has been news circle, and this is credited source, that, you know, something has been going on behind the works, and it has been acquired by Shueisha again. So it's a new IP with Shueisha. And this is news that I got from it. I'll credit the source, James Hansen. He's known for Bleach, and he also does like Reborn. But again, sources and credited sources, there is a new domain, not domain expansion, domain website. Of course, if you click it, it's not gonna bring you anywhere. But this is the first website, and it's been noted and told by Pony Cannon. So they do hold the rights to Reborn. Also, for the fact that like the studio that originally did the anime went bankrupt fully in 2017, Artland Studio. So now it really is up in the air. But the companies that do own it, Shueisha, Shonen Jump, and Pony Cannon, something is happening. So I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% sure in the sense of like what's going to. They're not on any of the stages for Jump Festa. But Reborn is having a large presence for that event that's happening next week. And I think this is the first time since the series ended in 2012 it has such a big presence at that event, if I am correct. So do be on the lookout. Please do not spread saying there is a remake and there's no remake in the works. There is no continuation in the works. We have not heard nothing official as of yet. So do not go spreading. I know that you might guys see something online. Do not listen to them. If anything, I would say if you want to hear credited sources, you can either listen to me. It's not to toot my own horn, but it's either me, my brother from another mother, Red Decimo, or James Hansen. Jaymes. It's either one of us. Okay? Just we'll give you the correct news when it does drop, okay? But nonetheless, I am Kimmy-chan. The links are in the description box. You guys go check it out, and I will see you guys later. Bye. With